We're not personality driven, we are love driven. And I really appreciate this. So a little bit of an overview for November. We begin our series with the backdrop of the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is a metaphor for our human journey of psychological and spiritual growth and transformation. Each one of us plays out what Joseph Campbell describes as the hero's journey, which starts and ends in this place that we call home. Home is that place of the heart, and it is primal across all ages and all cultures. It is that place where we feel safe and fully free to be our unique selves. It is that place where we belong with unconditional love and acceptance. It is a place where the human journey typically begins and ends. This journey called home also takes us on an exploration of the archetype of home as both the starting point and destination of the spiritual journey. So throughout the month, we would be looking at both the human journey and the spiritual journey of this place called home. And I offer this metaphor for us this morning. God is like a GPS. The sole purpose of a GPS is to provide directions to and from a destination or destinations, from our starting point back to our return point. The GPS may warn us of delays, of construction, of detours, whatever there is along the way. And it may also warn us of traffic enforcement that is in the area, so that we can have the opportunity to correct our speed if we are above the speed limit. And hopefully we do it in time before the radar catches us. Or it may warn us of other traffic-related incidences that are going along the way. Now, if we choose to go a different direction, or as I do sometimes, is argue with my GPS and say, no, I don't want to go this way. This is the way that I know. You know, it doesn't argue. It doesn't talk back. It doesn't call me those names that I might probably call myself. And this is just a key here to be mindful of our self-talk at all times. And the GPS doesn't make us wrong for the direction we have chosen. It simply says, recalculate it. Recalculate it. And this is how our relationship with God works. This essence honors us and celebrates us without judgment or criticism or blame. It is always guiding us back home in consciousness to the place where we remember our oneness with Source. So it is always recalculating and gently bringing us back home. And we're going to be looking at myth this month as part of the background for our journey home. And so there's a story that I want to share with you. And it's a familiar story. Some of you may know it as a movie. Some of you may know it as a stage play. And some of you may know it as both. The familiar story is The Wizard of Oz. And what I invite you to do is listen to the story as if you were hearing it for the first time. And if you can, identify with the characters or the places in the story or the circumstances that the characters find themselves in. And I'm going somewhere with this, so play with me this morning. The Wizard of Oz story features the adventures of Dorothy, a small Kansas farm girl, and her dog Toto, along with their house, which is transported by a tornado to the magical city of Oz. The tornado lands Dorothy's house on the Wicked Witch of the East, killing her. Dorothy takes the witch's red magical shoes, which become a source of protection for her. Glinda, the good witch of the South, learns of Dorothy's desire to return home and tells her to wear the red shoes and follow the yellow brick road to the Emerald City, where she will find the great and wonderful Wizard of Oz, who can help her to return home. Along the yellow brick road, Dorothy befriends a scarecrow, a tin man, and a lion, each seeking something outside of themselves, hoping the wizard can make them complete. Reaching the Emerald City and the wizard, Dorothy and her friends learn he will only help them if they will kill the Wicked Witch of the West and bring him evidence of their demise. It's that old, I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back. The Wicked Witch of the West, wanting her sister's red shoes back, plots the demise of Dorothy. And despite all of her attempts, Dorothy manages to survive. And in the end, Dorothy kills the Wicked Witch of the West by dousing her with water. Dorothy, now excited about this accomplishment, returns to the Emerald City and presents the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West to the wizard as proof of completing the task. Expecting the wizard now to follow through on his promise and to help her get back to Kansas, she learns that the wizard is a fake when he confesses to being an ordinary man bereft of magical powers. A reminder here to be mindful of who you put your faith in. Dorothy now loses hope that she will ever get back to Kansas. At this point, she doesn't see another possibility. Glinda, the good witch of the South, comes to Dorothy's rescue and tells her that she has the power to go home. Glinda is pointing her to her inner GPS, advising her to tap the heels of the magical shoes together 3 times to travel wherever her heart desires. With this new insight, Dorothy clicks her heels 3 times, repeating, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home." And then she and Toto are magically transported back to their home in Kansas. Even though this story is a myth, embedded in it is the underlying truth of individual resilience to navigate through the things that happen in life. Dorothy never let go of her intention to return home, despite all of the obstacles that were presented to her. And so let's look at myth and metaphor. People mistakenly think of myth as something commonly believed but untrue. A myth is mistaken as something commonly believed but is untrue. Myths represent our collective human psyche, illuminating universal principles and truths that apply to the entirety of the human family. So there is truth based in our myths. Stories of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and others all refer to the archetype described by Joseph Campbell in The Hero of a Thousand Faces. According to Campbell, a hero is one who has given their life to something bigger than themselves. The journey entails a challenging evolutionary process that serves to shape, to strengthen, and prepare the individual for their life work. The hero's journey begins and ends at home, the home of the child. And the child in this example is not defined by chronological age. The home of the child as the hero is a place of shelter and safety, while simultaneously representing repression. The metaphoric walls that protect the child also keep the hero in making in a sheltered state. Eventually, though, The desire to break free of customs, rules, and limiting beliefs prompts the child to set out and explore the unknown. This is where there is learning, growth, and evolution. And I was thinking about this, I was reflecting back to my daughters as they were going through their evolutionary stage, and when they hit those teenage years. You know, we talk about the terrible twos, when everything is no, because that's all the child has heard is no. Then they become a teenager. And it's in that in-between stage where their bodies are changing, their mental aspects are changing. It's a period of rapid growth. And this is where the desire to lead and explore really sets in. And yet there's the safety of home that sometimes sets up this conflict that we experience during that teen stage. There are 12 steps to the journey that happen in 3 phases. The first phase is departure, the next phase, initiation, and the final phase is return. During the departure stage, the child leaves a place of safety and shelter to embark upon their individual call to adventure, challenge, or quest. There's generally an initial reluctance to answer the call. During the initiation phase, the child develops strength and character through enduring trials, tests, and tribulations with the help of allies and friends that they find along the way. And in the final trial, the child slays their inner dragon and is gifted with the insight that transforms him into the hero, thus initiating the return home. And I said that in this illustration of the child that it is not bound by age. I just know for myself that I continue to go through these 3 phases as I grow and expand. And in a class that I am taking, the affirmation was offered to us that we know that this infinite intelligence, spirit, knows nothing about time and space. And so where we may tend to get bogged down because of our chronological age and see it as a limiting factor, we're encouraged to say, the older I get, the wiser I become, the more I know, the more I expand my awareness, the healthier I am, the more abundant I am, or whatever it is that may appear as a limiting factor. Say this to ourselves, or even say it out loud. The older I get, the more I, and expand on that. And so during these phases, which continue to revolve departure, initiation, and return, we discover that the person who returns home is not the same person who left. The hero's journey is a process of psychological and spiritual transformation. The hero returns home with new insight and new understanding that has transformed them from the innocent child to a mature, self-actualized adult who uses their gifts to serve a greater cause. Now, the greater cause can be humanity, it can be nature, it can be life, it can be anything that calls to us to offer ourselves in service. The greater cause, like Dorothy, each one of us must leave our safe surroundings to find and become aware of what we are meant to be. And this is where we develop that inner resilience, where we learn to lean on that which is within us, knowing that the journey reminds us that home, that place that we know, that place where we are loved, holy, and free, is the best place to be. The hero's journey represents an outward search to find the truth, and the presence lies at the center of our being. Science of Mind teaches us and provides us with the tools to access the truth, that we already have everything we need for the journey. We already have everything that we need for the journey. And so to use this affirmation, the older I get, I could say the older I get, the more I realize that I have the tools inside of me and I have everything that's provided for this journey. The recognition of God's presence within is the realization that unconditional love, wholeness, and oneness are our spiritual home, and we can access these anywhere and at any time. And so I offer this to us this week as our call to action or our personal life work. And I have asked our team to drop these in to show them on the screen and to place them in the chat. So our life work, if you choose to do it this week, is to consider the following questions. To observe what comes forward without judgment or criticism. This is the key, to observe without judgment or criticism, and to journal your answers. So we ask, where am I on my hero's journey? What do I know about myself? And what can I do intentionally to move along the journey? And so our closing thought this morning is everyone has the potential and the capacity to be the hero of their life journey. We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. We must be willing to let go of the life we had planned so we can have the life that is waiting for us. And I invite us now to say together our weekly affirmation. I am the hero of my own journey. Let us say that again. I am the hero of my own journey. Let us turn within as we pray together. Recognizing that the all-prevailing spirit, the all-prevailing power and presence of the one life, this one love, this one GPS, this God positioning system that is always guiding us through every phase of life experience is absolutely all that there is. And that each of us as an individualized creation taps into this GPS. And we are always at choice to follow its direction or to change course. And yet we know that it loves us so deeply that it simply says, recalculating. Welcome back home. You are my beloved. I welcome you without judgment, without criticism, without blame, without whatever. And so I know this morning, and I speak this word of blessing and this word of power, lifting each one who is maybe experiencing a challenge in life, a seeming challenge in life. Maybe traveling down that yellow brick road looking for the whiz or the wizard to guide us back to this place called home. And yet I know that deep within me, deep within each one that is a part of this community that is not bound by time and space, is finding their own way home under the guidance of the Spirit within. And so letting go of the route to the destination, keeping the destination in mind, enjoy the journey along the way. And the journey may show up in a variety of ways. It may show up as right livelihood, that which produces the financial, the money, and the prosperity and the abundance to live a good and prosperous life. That journey may show up as a health opportunity, an opportunity to step back and to evaluate and to say, what correction must I put in place? Or What is this coming to show me? How may I embrace whatever this is, this diagnosis? Always remembering that I am more than the diagnosis. I am the presence of God expressing in this form. This journey may take us on many paths, and knowing that all paths lead to home. And so I bless those places where people are gathering, either in person, via technology, or by any other means, recognizing the power and the presence of the consciousness of the one life. Knowing that each one is experiencing all that there is to be prosperous, to be happy, to know love, to be loved, to extend love, to celebrate love, and to be welcomed home, and to welcome those who have wandered back home, embraced in love, embraced in joy, and embraced in fellowship. And for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful. Releasing this word now back into that law, which always says yes, I just allow it to be. And I invite you to affirm this with me as we say, and so it is. And I want to take this opportunity again to remind us that our ministers and practitioners are available to support us through prayer, through spiritual coaching, through whatever the experiences that we may be going through in life. And I always remind people that while we are here to support you going through a challenge, we're also here to support you as you celebrate the victory of achieving that challenge and moving forward. So our contact information is on our website and also in our newsletter. So we invite you to join us and allow us to support you in those areas. And now it is our opportunity. I see something in the chat. There's a question. What was GPS again? The GPS is that spiritually, I refer to it as a God positioning system. In the world of technology, the GPS is a mapping system that provides us with directions to and from a destination. So this is our opportunity now to participate in the flow of abundance, to share the money that has come into our lives, to enhance the prosperity and the abundance flow of not only this community, but of those that we support as a community. And we have a statement of abundance that I invite us to share and affirm together. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in a life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness, and so it is. With deep, deep gratitude, I stand before you each Sunday and thank you for the marvelous and magnificent ways that you continue to support the center and this ministry and the outreach of the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. And the ways to donate are on our screen. You may mail your donations in to our physical address, 400 West Franklin Street in Monterey, and our zip code is 93940, 93940, 93940. You may text to give, and that number is on the screen. And you may also make a donation through our website, www.montereycsl.org. And I just have a few highlights to share with our virtual community before we wrap up today. A reminder that Tuesday is voting day. If you have not already completed your ballot and mailed it in, please do so or be prepared to vote in person. I voted and received a note from the Elections Bureau that my ballot was received and counted. So I stand in that, yes. I loved it when I received that response. Your ballot has been received and counted. So it doesn't matter who you vote for. What is important is that we vote and we exercise our freedom and our civic responsibility. Each week, we invite you to join our visioning. On Saturday morning, we have a visioning circle for our center, and that is conducted by Zoom. And on Sundays here in the space, we have visioning for our individuals' lives at 10 a.m. And I'll say this about visioning. While we may gather in a location at a specific time, if that time does not work for you because of your own personal schedule, invite you to take the time to just be still and to just ask, what is God's highest vision for my life? What is God's highest vision for my life? What must I embody and embrace for this vision to manifest in my life? What must I release? What must I let go of to make the space for this vision to manifest in my life? And then finally ask, is there anything else that I am to know in this moment? Those are the 4 easy steps of the visioning process that we can do anytime, any place, and anywhere. And so I encourage us to do that. Today, following service, our creative expressions team meets, and we're calling it the Make It Happen. And I know there are other names that will be emerging as the process continues to unfold. Anyway, this is an outreach ministry that was the vision of practitioner Amber Guzman, and a team of creatives have come together to just to identify the wonderful ways that we can create objects that express our love and make them available to members in our community who may be going through various challenges in life. On next Sunday, everyone say next Sunday. All right, next Sunday, November the 20th, next Sunday, November the 20th. No, that's not next Sunday. I'm speeding up time. On the 3rd Sunday, October the 20th, thank you. I tell you, I'm my own best comedy show. November the 20th, we have the honor and the joy of Reverend Kathy Masuriani, who is the executive director of our Science of Mind Archives, will be our guest speaker, and also will take us, our Monterey Center, on a virtual tour of our Science of Mind Archives in our home office in Golden, Colorado. This is very exciting, and I want to acknowledge Woody Camacho Madera for arranging this, for making this possible, for making that connection with Reverend Kathy. I had the joy of seeing the archives shortly after our home office had relocated to Denver. I was serving our community, I was serving our organization in a marketing type capacity. And so we had a meeting back at the home office, and I had a chance to go through the archives in their initial phase. So I'm really excited to see how they have expanded. And I had a lovely conversation with Reverend Kathy. She is very excited about the possibility of being here with us and sharing the archives. And so in that, since we will be doing it as part of the service, I'm asking you to be prepared to stay an additional half hour, if you can. And we will provide a light lunch following the service for those of you who are here in the center with us. And for those who are joining us virtually, I ask you to just prepare a snack or your coffee or your tea, whatever, and just relax and enjoy us as we go on this tour as a family together. I'm very, very excited about that. And then on the last Sunday of this month is our spiritual living circle. And the theme for this month is hope. And with that, I would like to open it now to anyone who has a demonstration of using the principles, or maybe something from, I'm intentionally saying October now, maybe something from our October series on finances that materialized as support in your life that you would like to share with the community. And let's go to our Zoom audience first. Yeah. Oh,
I'll go, Robert.
thank you for that. Let's
I'll
keep
go,
it on
Robert.
Facebook since we're in here. Okay. I see Jacinth.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to, a demonstration of God is still in charge, regardless of appearances. So a year ago, I had a claim that was denied by medical insurance. So I contacted insurance back in January of this year to get an explanation, and they offered some convoluted explanation as to why they denied the claim. It was over $1,000. So then I reached out to the benefits office. I'm on Leroy's medical insurance. So I reached out to them to see if they could give an explanation. They admitted that in the explanation of benefits, it's very confusing, but they offered to reach out on my behalf to see what was going on. So, we went back and forth with emails. Eventually the emails stopped. So I'm assuming, okay, well, they're not going to pay it. But interestingly enough, though, the doctor's office never sent me a bill. So for a whole year, no bill. Didn't hear anything from them. So I'm assuming, okay, it's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. So I went to the mailbox last week and I opened it up. And it was from the insurance company that they paid the bill. No explanation, they just paid it. So I'm like, okay, God. It just confirms that God can undo what has been done. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I'm going to, at this point, say good morning to our virtual community, our Facebook Live, and those who will be viewing us via our YouTube channel. And again, I encourage you to hit the like button and share. Let's continue to spread this message of love and joy and home and prosperity and the goodness of life with those. I invite you to join us next week, where our message will be roots and wings as we continue our exploration of the journey home. So thank you and good morning to our Facebook family.